Hello and welcome to another video, and today we are going to take a look at another two Pokemon that got their fast move buffed for this new season. We are going to take a look at Noctowl as well as Pidgeot. So before this, Pidgeot recommended fast move was Gust because he had a very high damage output and a higher energy generation compared to Air Slash, and because of the wing attack buff from 7 energy per fast move to 8 energy per fast move, wing attack has now become the preferred fast move for it. And we also have Noctowl, which already had access to wing attack. Now they can reach to its charge moves even faster. Now the count to get to the sky attack is 665, which means that you only need 6 wing attacks to get to the first 2 sky attacks, while only needing 5 to get to the third because of the residual energy that you have from the first 2 wing attack, after the first 2 sky attacks, sorry. And then we have the defense Deoxys in the lead to handle any anti-flyers that we might have from our opponent's lineups. Of course, wing attack is a legacy moveset from the Pidgeot, so I did invest in elite TM for it. Of course, if you play Pokemon Go long enough, there are ways to get in elite TM from GBL, and also other methods such as buying it during the community days where they have it in the community boxes. I'm not sure whether they have it currently because I have not bought one in a while, so I did invest in an elite TM for my Pidgeot. And then in this first game we see that I actually still have Gust on my Pidgeot. I picked the wrong Pidgeot here. It's not that I forgot to elite TM it, it's just I have another one, but I picked the wrong one while before battling because it's quite late-ish at night. And then here you see our opponent counter swap into their Dusclops after their Wall Rain lead, and then we can swap into our Noctowl, which has access to Shadow Ball, which is super effective. And as you can see here, we are able to safely no shield 2 Ice Punches. However, I wasn't so sure what was the energy generation of Hex, and here I thought that I could have gotten the farm down before they reached the third Ice Punch, which was not the case, and because of that they are able to get a shield from us. But here we are almost at 2 sky attacks. We can get to it very fast here, and they no shield the first one, and then we get to the second one. Do they shield this one instead? If they do not, they will bring them extremely low into the red, and they did not shield, and then we can safely farm them down. But they instead swap into their Sableye and manage to Shadow Claw us down. And then here is where our opponent makes a mistake. They decided to throw the return instead of going for foul play, which I guess which is not the ideal move, because you know that I will most probably shield it and go for Feather Dance to debuff it, and then just throwing return and getting it shielded is just a waste of energy from them. And then here we farm extra way above Brave Bird to get their second shield. And then would they shield this? Of course they do, because this is basically their final Pokemon. They do not have anything else at the back, but they do make a nice snipe here and throw the Icicle Sphere to take out our Pidgeot. And now our defense Deoxys is in a peculiar position. Can we tank this foul play and then get to our Thunderbolt to take it out? We shall see. And we do get to it. I wasn't sure whether or not they had enough already for foul play, or maybe they are 1 or 2 off, but it is fine. We take this second game. It was quite tight, but it is not a problem for defense Deoxys. And then here in the third game we have a Sableye lead, we immediately swap out into our Noctowl, and they decided to stay in and farm a little bit extra, which is fine. That means we can also farm a bit extra for this Azumarill. And when they swapped out, the Noctowl barely got any damage from the Shadow Claws because it is double resisted. And then now we can see that Noctowl with a single shield can pretty much run through Azumarill now, because it is very bulky and it is even spammier. They decided to throw Hydro Pump, which is not ideal on their end, because Hydro Pump, even though it is stab, it only does neutral damage to Noctowl. I believe you want to go for the Ice Beam if you have it, and because that is super effective damage, and it is even and it is spammier as compared to Hydro Pump. And then here we decided to just double shield reciprocate because we want the switch alignment, because their Sableye does have a lot of energy. And then here they decided to throw straight away, and I believe it was a foul play, and we can survive it, get to a Shadow Ball, get them extremely low with this heavy neutral damage from the Shadow Ball, and let's see whether or not we are able to go to a Sky Attack. Oh, we could not, because they timed it perfectly. They made sure that we could not get to it, and they managed to get the optimal farm down from us. Now here they are throwing another foul play, which is fine. And then at the end, what Pokemon do they have? Let's figure out timeout. And they have a Mandibuzz. So this is extremely problematic for this team, especially if it's an S/ variant, because their fast move does quite a bit of damage. And then here they decided to overfarm, which means that we can go for the Brave Bird and to almost take it out and swap, I think, to a Defense Deoxys, but they decided to swap out themselves before we do. And then here they decided to quit the game because they know that the counter damage will do most probably a lot more than their air slashes, and they will need two charge moves to even get near to killing Defense Deoxys there, which I don't think they have. And then here we have a Medicham lead, a very neutral lead, I would say, because we have to go for the Thunderbolt first, and Psycho Boost is just to KO them, because Psycho Boost does have the 2-stage attack drop, which we do not want to apply to ourselves early on in the game. You will see later in this video how I played a bit differently. And here they swap into their Water Gun Lantern, which turns out to be a little bit better for me, because then we are not getting hit by super effective fast moves, and they take a bit longer to get to their Thunderbolt, because Spark has a higher energy generation as compared to Water Gun. Water Gun is a bit more average move, where it is a balance of damage and energy generation. And then here they have to shield, because as you can see, 2 Shadow Balls will most probably be enough. Can we get another shield from them? We do not, which is fine. That means we can come in with our Defense Deoxys to farm them down and get more energy for the defense, for the Medicham at the back, sorry. And then here they try to wait out the clock for some reason, but I'm not sure why, because I believe their switch timer is also not up. I mean, it's up, sorry. And then here they throw an Ice Punch on the CMP with us. We throw a Psycho Boost, and we immediately swap out after that to our Pidgeot, try to get a hit on energy. And then here they have a Noctowl, and Pidgeot and Noctowl in the head-to-head, Noctowl will win if you try to overfarm and go for double Brave Bird, because they will definitely get to 2 sky tags before you get the 2 brave birds, and so here the plan is to debuff them with feather dance. And as you can see here, that debuffed sky attack does barely anything before we can throw this brave bird here to take it out. Pidgeot is a little bit more attack weighted as compared to Noctowl, therefore we will do a bit more damage compared to them with our flying type moves. And then yeah, going on to the next match, we have a defense Deoxys mirror, another very iffy lineup. As you can see here, they are trying to overfarm while we throw immediately to our Thunderbolt. And let's see whether or not their defense Deoxys or ours is a little bit better in terms of bulk. And it turns out theirs is a little bit more bulky. As you can see here, ours haven't even gone to the yellow, while we haven't done yellow to them, while they have brought us into the yellow. And then here they try to overfarm again, which means that they are now, I think, 1 ahead, and we immediately swap into Noctowl to get them low, but they decided to throw the Psycho Boost straight away. We don't have to shield this because it is just neutral, and defense Deoxys is fairly bulky, so it won't do as much. And then here we have another Azumarill in the back. Right now, a lot of people are trying to use teams which are anti-flyers because as we can see in the new season, flying type Pokemon definitely got a buff with the wing attack. You see things like Gliscor, Noctowl, Pidgeot, and Mantine get shot up rankings into the top 20 easily. And you can see here why, and because Noctowl now can go head to head with the Azumarill, we decided to throw to our sky attack, which wasn't optimized properly. And here, as you can see, is fairly close. If we did not get that, you did not give them that free bubble, we would have most probably gotten to our sky attack and could have gotten our third shield, but it is fine. And then here they decided they got to an ice beam, which was peculiar. Maybe I miscounted, and we immediately tried to farm them up. And then here they have the Umbreon, which is another problematic Pokemon in the back line, especially for this whole team in general, because Umbreon is very bulky and our counter user is a psychic type, therefore it will take super effective damage from the foul play. So that means it will require a bit of teamwork to get it down. But here I know my win con is just to go for Feather Dance and all the way to Brave Bird range before they throw before I know that they have to shield. So here we are almost at the Brave Bird range, and then we decided to bait here with the Feather Dance, get their attack extremely low, most probably is quadruple debuffed already, and then here go for the Brave Bird, but knowing that they will most probably swap out, we decided to hold it and then throw it when they come back in to take out the Umbreon. This is supposed to be a game where we shouldn't have won, but we did, and that's the end of the first set. And here we have another Medicham in the lead, and we see how we will play differently in this battle. We will of course try to go for the Thunderbolt first, and try to get them low before throwing the Psycho Boost to potentially take them out. We can of course take in 2 Ice Punches, but that will take us very low. And then we tried to beat them to a CMP, hoping that they will overfarm, but they decided not to. And they throw the Ice Punch, we throw the Psycho Boost, and let's see whether we get a shield from them, because Psycho Boost would do a lot to them, and they do not shield. And we can come in with a Noctowl, try to farm them down, but did not manage to do so, and they brought in a Spark Lantern now. So this matchup is even worse for us. Their fast move does super effective damage. Most probably it does the same amount as Water Gun. Maybe not, I'm not exactly sure. And here we see whether or not we can get to a second Shadow Ball, and we could. Let's see whether or not we are able to get a shield from them. Is it? Yes, we do. We do get a shield from them, but they do get a lot of farm here, which means that we most probably have to expand both our shields to take them out, because Pidgeot will not have a good time against them in this game. We shield once just now on the surf, we shield again, and here they decided to throw an Ice Sponge. Will we go down to it? We do not, and we immediately swap into Pidgeot, and they have a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So yeah, so it's a hard counter back line. There was nothing much we could do. Defense Deoxys can take out one of those if it could, but taking out all three is not something that Defense Deoxys is built to do with its high bulk. And then here we have a Galarian Stunfisk, which decided to just go straight Rock Slide, I guess. Is at first I was weirded out, because usually people try to go for the Earthquake, but here I found out that going straight Rock Slide is actually quite beneficial as well, because you're spamming your charge moves and applying shield pressure. And then here they decided to go for another Rock Slide, and most probably contemplating of taking us out here, but we decided to farm up a bit more, throw the Thunderbolt, hopefully to take them out with one counter afterwards, but decided to shield. We decided to farm them a bit more, and because we know that most probably going to throw a Rock Slide, so we're going to shield and then farm them all the way down, get all that energy before swapping into our Noctowl immediately, and then decided to safe swap into their Venusaur. I'm not sure what they were thinking there, with shields down, swapping to their Venusaur into our wing attack user, but I guess they did not have that much choice there. And then here they have a Noctowl lead, and we caught their charge move on Noctowl. Did we catch a Shadow Ball? Yes, we did. We caught a Shadow Ball, which is very nice, because that means we wasted all their energy on our Noctowl while taking very minimal damage. Normal types do double resist ghost type moves, so that barely tickles the Noctowl. And then here we decided to shield out the first one just to be safe, and then now it's time to put on some shield pressure. They shielded the first Sky Attack from us. Will they shield the next one? They do not, so this will put us in prime condition to go for another Sky Attack before they take us out, which means that Defense Deoxys can come in and farm down afterwards. And here they decided to let it go, because they do not want to go 2 shields down against us, because they do not know the third Pokemon, therefore they do not want to debuff, they do not want to be vulnerable to a nuke straight away. And then our Defense Deoxys is waiting for the opponent again, and they brought in their Noctowl. And here we throw the Thunderbolt, they shielded. Can we get to a second Thunderbolt? And boy oh boy, what do they have here? A Charge Beam Lantern. If they had stayed in, most probably they would have won this game, but they decided to throw away their win con here with a Charge Beam Lantern, so it's a double whammy of losing their win con. If even with a Charge Beam Lantern, they could have most probably taken out our Pidgeot. And here we decided to just do a lot more counters before throwing the Thunderbolt. And here we farm up all the way to 100 energy before throwing the Thunderbolt. Will this get them low enough? And it does. One more counter gets them out. And then here we get to a Thunderbolt to hopefully take it out. If we do not, then we just swap to our Pidgeot to do the extra wing attack damage to take it out, and decided to just stop left after this charge move, I think. yeah, they have no chance anyways. They do not have Brave Bird and decided to throw Shadow Ball for whatever reason. I guess they know that they do not have any win con there, so they just throw whatever charge moves they have. And then here we have a Buzzwole in the lead. So Buzzwole should have been a good matchup for Defense Deoxys to take a shield at least, but we decided to immediately swap into Noctowl, which was kind of bad because that means now our Noctowl is a sitting duck again, or sitting owl against this electric fish. What I should have done differently was most probably go for a Psycho Boost and then dip. At least I would have gotten a shield advantage going to my safe swap, and my Defense Deoxys could have gotten a bit more farm from them if possible. But here we are in a very precarious spot. We need to get them down low enough for us to get to a Thunderbolt as well as to Psycho Boost, and my timing was a bit off. I should have thrown one move earlier and they got to a Surf, which means that now our Defense Deoxys is quite low and they still have both shields. And let's see here, they will most probably come back in with their Buzzwole. Do we manage to get to the Psycho Boost? Yes, we do, but they would most probably shield this. They do not want to take super effective damage from a Psycho Boost. We swap out into a Pidgeot and they decided to throw a charge move. I believe this would be a superpower, but decided to launch debuff attack, and they have a Alolan Ninetales at the back. So yeah, we just top left there. There was nothing for us in that game. I believe this is our last game for this video. Another Medicham lead. So here we know how to play the game already, and they decided to throw on the CMP, which is fine, and then they decided to throw Psychic, which is very interesting, but they do get the defense drop. I guess it did work out well for them, but I decided to throw on alignment, and then here they threw again on what could have been an alignment with our Psycho Boost, but we know that if count is 5, then most probably is power up punch only. And then we throw immediately Psycho Boost and then dip into our Noctowl. And then here is, the count is still 5, but I'm not sure why we why I shielded there, because we already revealed that they have Psychic and Power Up Punch. They do not have a Nice Punch because Pokemon do not have access to 3 charge moves yet. I don't think Pokemon Go will make an option for 3 charge moves, even if they could. And here they brought in another Azumarill safe swap, but as you can see from earlier games, Azumarill is not a good safe swap because we can get to Sky attacks very easily now. And then they throw a Hydro Pump instead, and now we can get to a Sky attack to force their last shield. If they want to preserve this, do we get the last shield? We do. That means our Defense Deoxys now has a better time, but because of their farm, it's quite dangerous for me to bring in the Pidgeot, so I will just tank whatever move with the Defense Deoxys, which is fine. Defense Deoxys will act as a sponge, and our Pidgeot will hopefully be able to take this game. And we farmed out their Medicham. I'm not sure what they were trying to do there. And then what do they have at the back? Would they bring in again the Azumarill or bring their third Pokemon back? And they have a Skarmory, so the Skarmory is also another quite a hard check to our Pidgeot. We have to Feather Dance and put them quite low, even though we have a shield up. We have to throw immediately so that they do not get any additional damage from fast moves, because their fast moves do neutral against our Pidgeot while we are doing resisted damage. Here the Sky attack surprisingly does quite a lot more than I thought, even though they were double debuff there. I think double Feather Dance debuff, that means it's like 4 times debuffed already. And then here I thought I could maybe get take them out with a Feather Dance and a Brave Bird. I thought it was enough. And here I threw one Feather Dance. Maybe I should have gone for one more Wing Attack. If I did, I would most probably have taken them out. Here, as you can see, this Brave Bird, is it enough? It is not. So yeah, that's the end of the game. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.